Tim and Jacko from the School of Calisthenics.
And today we are going through a beginner's ring calisthenics workout. So the equipment you're going to need is a set of rings or a suspension trainer, and that's pretty much it. We're ready to go.
So this is a total body workout. We've got some push, pull, we're going to do some core work and get the lower body involved as well.
So before we get warmed up, we're just going to show you what those 4 exercises are so you know what to expect as we go in. So number 1 is an archer push-up, which looks like that. The next, number 2, is a body weight row, which is simple and looks like this. We can make it harder by changing our foot position. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. Number 3 is the legs, and where he's going to go 1 ring, and he's looking at a single leg squat, but you've got the support of the ring. And then the final one for the core is a ring rollout. Depending on where your feet are, it's going to make this hard or easy for you, but that is the rings going out overhead and coming back. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing 10 reps of each. We're going to have no rest in between them and have a rest at the end of the circuit for 1 minute. But before we get started, let's get them warmed up, Tim. So Tim, you ready for the warm-up?
Ready. Right,
we need to make sure we warm up the whole body because it's a whole body workout. So we're not going to use rings, we're just going to use the floor for this. Tim's going to go into a prisoner squat, so he goes up and then he goes back down, so it's almost like 1.5 reps. Hands go on the floor, walks the hands forward. He then goes into a down dog position and into what we call a Pluto sniff, drives back up to push-up position. From there, around the world press up, where he goes all the way around to one side and then comes back, and he's going to then walk himself back towards the standing upright position. That's 1 rep, and we're going to do 5 in total. So he goes down, back up, he's out into rep 2, walks the hands out, goes bum in the air, down dog, down to Pluto sniff. How's the floor smelling, Timbo?
Beautiful.
Rotates around the world, press up, hand goes on the floor, controlling that body all the way through. Rotates the other way to make sure we're getting both in, and then he walks back towards his upright position or standing position. That's 2 reps done. So we've got 3 more to go, Tim. This is going to get us warm. We've got everything going. 1.5 reps of his squat. Walks out, down dog, Pluto sniff, keeping the elbows in nice and tight on that elbow sniff. All the time when we're going through these rotations, making sure we're controlling all of the body, so the hip and the shoulder rotates together, all the way back to the other side. Always pushing down against the floor, walking back so the core's working, even getting the hamstrings a bit of a stretch there as you go down. That's 3 reps, so we've got 2 to go. We're nearly there. Walking back, bum in the air, Pluto sniff, driving up, pushing the ground down, controlling the body. That's what's really nice about the body weight calisthenics work that we do. It's all about controlling your body the entire time. Your core's going to be on fire because you're constantly using it in all of these positions. That's 4 reps. You've got 1 more, Tim. 1.5 squats. Walking forward, nice control. Pluto sniff, drive up, elbows stay in tight, in control of the shoulders, not letting them jump up. Pushing the floor away as we rotate. Come back through. All you got to do now is walk back up to standing, and that is our very effective full body warm up done. And this guy is going to be ready to take on this beginner's ring workout. Right, we're going to do 10 reps of each exercise, those 4 exercises we've shown you, in a circuit together with no rest in between other than just changing your foot position to get ready. And then you're going to have 1 minute rest in between the circuits. Perfect. And we're going to do 3 in total because that's what you said you wanted to do.
I like 3 is a good number.
3 is a great number. So we're going to start off. Everyone's going to get ready for this. Depending on where you put your feet, it's going to change how hard or how difficult this exercise is. So don't be afraid to change your foot position as you go. But Tim's going to go then into first the archer. Yep, off we go. Down he goes, out to the side, driving back up. That's 1. Opposite arm, that's 2. Down he goes, 3. Control down, 4. 5 as he reaches out. 6, making sure he's always nicely in control of the rings. 7. 3 to go, down. 8. Making sure you don't let the body twist when you take the arm out to the side. You've got to fight against that, make sure you're using the core. And 10, that's his last rep, drive back up. Good, there's the first exercise done. Now into our row. So first thing, he's going to set his shoulders, so make sure he's not hiking them up, sets his shoulder blades, and he's driving those elbows back. That's 2 reps. When he gets to the top, 3, he's thinking about squeezing the shoulder blades back between the shoulder blades. Imagine squeezing a £1 coin. I think that's 5, that's 6, so 7, 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful. Staying with us. You are, you know. And then just change your foot position. So now he's going to swap legs as he does each rep. So that was 1. That's 2. You can use the ring as much or as little as you want in terms of getting yourself up. I believe that's 5.
Yep.
6, 7. So you're finding this hard, you can make sure you can use your arms to help pull yourself up. Is that 9? and 10. Look, I can count without even looking. Beautiful. Then the last one, the core. That walkout. So the further back your feet are, the harder it's going to be. One thing we want to make sure when we drive out, we get nice into that overhead position, access that end range, and then make sure, look at that beautiful straight line he's maintaining at his lower back. He's not letting that body arch and that rib cage float up and taking the pressure on the lower body.
That's 5, Jacko.
That's 5. 6, he's making sure the bum is on and the tummy is tight, like he's ready to take a punch. There you go. Is that 8?
Yep.
9. And 10. There's our 4 exercises. We hit the stopwatch. There'll be a clock somewhere on the screen telling us how far we've done. I'm also timing it so I know what we're doing. You can now just in our rest period, if you wanted to change the height of the rings, you could do so. If you make them a little bit shorter if you found that too difficult, you don't think you can maintain it, or make them a bit longer if you want to. If you think about you're going to make it harder.
I'm going down a bit.
You're going down a bit. He's making it harder. You've had 20 seconds rest. So then he's going down a bit. The other thing he can do if he wants to up the intensity a little bit is the further back his feet go on these exercises, the harder it's going to be because there's going to be more weight going forward. So that's 30 seconds gone.
It's quite a nice way to get a bit of work done. Total body working there.
Yeah.
Everything working.
And then the other thing you might want to do with the last 20 seconds goes, have a little drink. Always stay hydrated. Your body's about 60% water, so we don't want to be losing any of that. And we're keeping the rest low. 10 seconds ago, we're keeping the rest low so the intensity's high and we're getting a bit of a conditioning element to this beginner's ring workout. So in 3, 2, 1, go! 1. Don't rush these just because we're starting to get excited. There's 3. And like I said before, when he takes the arm out to the side, the body wants to twist because he's taking that arm away to the side. He's having to make sure his obliques and hold that trunk musculature is working hard to maintain a nice straight body line. Is that 7?
Yep.
Look at that. I'm good at counting. 8. My mum's a maths teacher. She'd be really proud of me. 9. And 10. Good. Now that's 1. There's a second one, if you remember, is the ring row. So if he wants to make it harder, feet come forward a little bit, and he's also got the rings lower. So control those, or set those shoulder blades nice and flat to the back of the rib cage, driving elbows back and pinch it. Imagine pinching a pound coin between your shoulder blades and not letting that rib cage pop up when he goes through. How many on, Tim?
9.
9 and 10. Crack, I spoke way too much for that one, didn't I? We're getting the blow on now. 1 ring for the single leg squats as low as you can comfortably go. Tim's good at these. There's 2. Look how low he can get. And the ring's just giving you a little bit of counter support. Again, use it as little or as much as you want to. Control on the way down. The other big thing is making sure as you come down, you're not letting that knee dive inwards. How many is that?
8.
Good. 9. So the knee is staying in line with the toe. And 10. Beautiful. So we're getting close to halfway, no, way over halfway through. Ring, roll out, the last one. Took his feet a tiny bit further back and the rings are a little bit longer, so that distance he is away from that pivot point is longer. So now he's starting to make that tummy work that nice and strong. Remember, his bum is on tight like he's cracking a walnut between them. That's 6.
This is 6.
That's 6. As the French would say, 6. 7.
Yep.
Set. Bilingual. Wheat, is that 8? 9. Good control, bum on, core on, look at that line, and 10. Beautiful. That second round seemed to go fast, so let's start the stopwatch again. Bing! There's the clock, or is it down there? I don't know because we haven't done the edit yet. But there will be a clock somewhere. That's 5 seconds rest. We're starting to get a bit of a blow on, but the good news is, Tim, you've only got 1 left. Now, for you, do you want to go shorter or longer? Do you want to make it harder or easier? We think apparently the timer's down there. There's also a timer here. He's going deep. He's going deep. Does it make sense that the longer that the ring is, one thing, the more instability there is because it can move around more, but it's also just extending the distance away from the pivot point so that it's going to make it a little bit harder. So we can crank this up a notch.
I haven't got left.
You've got 25 seconds. Do you want a drink? I always provide myself as water boy if the person is working hard. If they're not working hard enough, they get their own bottle. But Timbo is working strong here.
It's the first time you've ever done anything.
What I love about it's 15 seconds. What I love about it is the technique he's got all the way maintaining. Particularly think about how that 10 seconds, how that trunk is being controlled all the way through. So the core is working hard. So in John Anderson style, 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, look how low he's going now. 2. Control. Don't rush these though, Timbo. We don't want to be going for speed. We want control. So nice control on the way down. 5, 6, 7, you can see how hard he's now having to work. 8, to maintain that straight body position. He wants to pull him out of control. And 10, they were harder, weren't they? Nice, so we're working hard now. Back to the ring row, making sure rib cage stays locked down, the shoulder blades get set first, so he's squeezing a pound coin between them, and he's focusing on driving the elbows back. Is that 3?
Yep.
4, so it's the elbow driving back. 5, that pulls him forward, make it rather than you pulling yourself forward and jacking that shoulder up. 8,
yep.
9, and 10. Beautiful. Into then the single leg squat. Just a little wee adjustment, and then he's into the squat position. Remember again, we talked about that knee staying in line with the toe as you go down, using the ring as the counterbalance. That 4.
Yep. 3.
Oh,
4.
That's 4. 5. All the way down because he's got the use of that ring. 7.
Yep.
8. Now he's working hard. We can start to in, breathe in. 9 and 10. Beautiful. Good news is there's only one exercise to go. Readjust that ring back for these rollouts. He's now going to really be testing himself because we've got those rings slightly longer, feet a little bit further back. But look at that body line staying nice and tight. So there's one, cracking a walnut between these butt cheeks. Or imagine you've got a £50 note between your butt cheeks, or euros, or whatever denomination of currency you have, and you don't want to lose that and it's a windy day. How many is that?
5.
5. He's working hard. Here we go. And tummy's tight, ready to take a punch. My hand, his abs are so flipping hard. That's 7.
Yep.
Now this is starting to work hard. 8, look at that end, still going to that nice end range. You've got control, that difficult overhead position. That 9. 10. And back up, nice. What we like to do is, when it's a good workout, it's not high 5s, it's big 10s. Give yourself a big 10 as well. That was the workout. We hope that you are just now starting to think about getting yourself a drink, thinking about cooling down. And I hope that you've enjoyed that beginner's ring workout. Timbo, you said you loved a ring workout. How did you find that one?
I loved it because one thing that's so good about the rings is it's completely adjustable.
Yeah.
So at any point during the workout, you can just move your foot position, drop the strap, just like you would pick up a heavier dumbbell, just make the exercise a little bit more difficult, a little bit easier, so scalable for anybody to get involved.
And that minimal rest between exercises and only 1 minute between the sets meant that we can still hear you panting, working hard, that conditioning element to it. So we've got everything worked. It has been a great workout. You worked particularly well yourself,
Thanks.
which I really enjoyed watching, and give a great example to these guys out there and girls. So all there really is to say, until next week,
Class dismissed.